Hello and welcome to the third video for a subquery. I'm making them, as you notice, short videos so I don't get really bored with a very long one. This is a very exciting question in my opinion because really it requires some calculation, and we're going to be using also additional function directly from SQL. Let's take a look at the question. Germany population is 80 million, has the largest population of the countries in Europe. Austria population is 8.5 million, has 11% of the population of Germany. Show the name and the population of each country in Europe, so specifically in Europe. Show the population as a percentage of the population of Germany. All right, let's go ahead and first of all start by selecting the name of the country and the population of that country. And now we're going to go ahead and get the ratio of the population of each country, population of each country divided by the population of Germany. How are we going to get this? We're going to get the population of Germany through a subquery. All right, so we're going to go ahead and say select, okay, population. Population. All right. From world where name is Germany. Okay. So this is my subquery. Okay. Of course, the whole thing is going to be from in this case from world and where also continent is equal to Europe. Of course, there is more to fix here. Europe. Okay. And if you notice, the population here is going. The subquery is going to be select population from world where name is equal to Germany. Of course, the from world is going to be based on those. So that, of course, I need to also tell the name and the population is coming from the world, where continent is equal to Europe, and that's my additional, as you notice. Okay, we got the name, we got the population for each country, and we get the population. But in order for us to get the percentage, we have to multiply the population by 100%, by 100, okay? So it's going to give me now the percentage in order to get the percentage, but I need to get first of all, I need to get, as you notice here, the answer was rounded, and also it has the percentage sign associated with it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing from here all the way to here, I'm going to go ahead and round it. Okay, I'm rounding it to 0. That's mean it's going to cut all the digit to the right of the decimal point. If you notice here, when I do this one here, it's going to give me Austria here. That's the question here. That's going to be the right answer, 11. But I need to do a little bit more than that by adding the percentage sign to the end of it. So I'm going to go ahead and use the concatenate function, concat, and that's going to be applying to everything here. I'm going to put another comma, whatever the result from the round and also the subquery is going to be concatenated with that, constant string here. I'm using it as the percentage sign. And as you will notice, it's going to make it much better. And I could also do, instead of getting that ugly, as you notice here, the ugly long one here, I'm going to go ahead and say, in this case here, as percent of Germany, okay? Just to make it a little bit less, so it doesn't have to look so frighteningly ugly. See, percentage of Germany. So you notice here that looks a little bit better. You might find a better word than per Germany or percentage by Germany, but you don't really need to have the whole query as the title of the subquery title of that field. But what we really need to get was easily identified by the correct answer of Austria as 11% of population of Germany. If you take a look at Germany, it has to be the 100% because that's really what we're comparing everything to it. Very good. So let's go ahead and move on to another very powerful query, and we're going to be looking at all. All is very confusing, but we really wanted to understand how it works. For example, if I say select the name from world where population greater than, of course, we first of all going to select population from the world where population greater than 0, because some of that population might be null, so we have to avoid that situation and confuse the query. So say population greater than 0. When we say all, it does not mean that the total of everything, okay? It means to test the population for each and every one individually, covering all of them. Okay, that's what it actually means by all. Go over all of them. All right. So don't think about all as like sum or aggregate function that is going to add them together. Rather, you need to make sure that all is meaning test all of them. All right. So as long as we understand this, that will make it much easier for us to come up with the answer for this query here. Which countries have a GDP greater than every country in Europe? Give the name only. Some countries may have null GDP, so we have to really make sure that we test for that as well. So which country have a GDP greater than every country in Europe? Okay, so first of all, we wanted to make sure that the subquery, the subquery is going to be select, okay, select the GDP, okay, from world where continent is equal to Europe. And there's another thing we have to make sure, and the GDP must be greater than 0, because we understand some of them are null, so we have to avoid that situation. So let's go ahead and do this, okay? And I'll show you here that some of them are null. So if actually if I didn't say null, it will show you that some of them has null. So let me go ahead and run this query without just to illustrate for you that some of them might be actually showing null here. Okay, if I say here name and GDP. All right, so let's see here if any country has, see, here we go, that was actually null. So we need to avoid that one. That's why we say here, and GDP is greater than 0. So this is my subquery, okay? What is my outer query? And that gets really exciting because, first of all, let's go ahead and put this between double parentheses, okay? And I'm going to be selecting which country has, so we're going to select the name, okay? Select the name, okay, from the country, okay? Where from world where GDP greater than, look here, greater than all. So we're going to compare the name from the where the GDP is greater than all of that list. Okay, the GDP is going to be greater than which countries have a GDP greater than every country in Europe, meaning any countries in the world, including China, including maybe United States, of course. Other countries might be having that one in Japan. Germany probably is the 4th largest economy in the world, if I recall correctly. So if I say greater than or equal, Germany will be included. But if I say, because they wanted to say greater than, not greater than or equal, just to make sure that you could understand the query better, if I do say here greater than every country in Europe, if I included greater than or equal, then Germany will be the one that is listed in here. Let me show you here. We have one problem here. We have, okay, let's see here, select name from world, select name from world where GDP greater than all, select name GDP from world. Okay. Oh, sorry here, we cannot put the name with when we select actually one. Not, I was doing the name testing before. Sorry about that, because I really should not put the name. It's only one operand in the select all. And here we go. We get that China, Japan, and United States. If I put it greater than or equal, as I was saying earlier, it will add Germany. And Germany is not part of the deal because it has to be greater than all the countries in Europe. So we have to say greater than all. In this case, we have China, Japan, and United States, which are the three largest economy in the world. So select name from world where GDP, and we're going to be testing of all the countries in Europe one at a time, okay? Actually against every country in Europe, which is we're going to be testing every country in the world. Select name from world where GDP, their GDP is greater than all. It's a very powerful query. And all from what? Select the GDP from world where continent is equal Europe and GDP. So it's going to compare that to the largest of all of them, of course. In this case, it's going to return for us those three nations, and please make sure that it's going to do it for each one of them, one at a time. Okay, don't confuse the word all. That's mean all of them combined. No, it's one at a time. Obviously, Germany is the one here concerned because Germany is going to be the largest. So in this case, the countries that is going to be compared to Germany in reality. And Germany, as a result, is going to be the one that is being tested against. So when we included greater than or equal, we ended up with Germany. When we took that equal, it ended up only with the three nations that actually bigger than all of the countries in Europe. Okay, remember Germany was number one. Thank you very much for watching this. I hope that helped, and we'll continue with other type of videos. Bye-bye.